special correspondent Ryan Chilcote is there for us with the story.
The heaviest snowfall in 2 decades, 6 feet dropped on the Swiss Alps in less than a week, didn't stop the World Economic Forum from getting underway.
There's really nothing quite like it. In my first hour here, I bumped into the head of one of the world's largest jewelry companies and the head of a Brazilian biotech firm. Developing and developed countries come together to network, to learn from one another, and of course, to do deals.
Mr. President, with your trial now getting underway, why is it better to be here in Davos than in Washington, D.C.?
Well, we're here meeting with world leaders, the biggest, most important people in the world.
At 82, Paul Flynn is a senior member of the House of Commons. The debate in this country isn't about whether President Trump comes here. It's about whether he's treated to a state visit. What's the big deal?
The big deal is that only 2 American presidents since 1952 have been given this special honor of a state visit.
Scotland's an option, rural and remote. It's not a likely place for tens of thousands of protesters to gather. And yet, even here, not everyone's a fan.
Yes, sir.
What would you say to your critics?
NATO leaders may have been marching to the beat of different drummers yesterday, but all 29 fell in line for this morning's group photo to mark the alliance's 70th anniversary.
2% is the amount NATO countries committed to spend on their defense and weapons, like this armored vehicle NATO has on display here back in 2014 when Russia annexed Crimea.
So how's this exercise going so far?
That's good. I mean, look, it's a training event. So they didn't show up out here expecting that it was going to be perfect, right?
I've spoken with several Russian businessmen since the report came out, and they all start the conversation by saying to me, hey, Ryan, am I in there? Because they're concerned that they too could be sanctioned if they are in the report, and that, of course, would be bad for business.
Russia did interfere in the election, not just in the digital landscape, but in real ways by organizing protests. The evidence that they've already laid out in various court filings is pretty convincing, no?
I don't believe in this, to be honest. I live in Russia. I know what Russian state capable.
And President Putin right now feels confident.
Elena Vishnevetsky is kicking off her call-in show at Brooklyn's Davidson radio station, and she's invited me along to co-host. It's Friday the 13th. Our topic, are Russians the new bogeyman?
Your radio listeners, they're pro-Trump?
Yes.
They love President Trump.
A lot. A lot.
Kagan presents a weekly show for the Russian Television Network of America out of a studio in South Brooklyn.
This is the only American-based, American-Russian language TV station. Everything else is just probably 90% or 100% rebroadcasting from Kremlin, basically.
People have accused you of hating America.
Because they don't know who is Russian. Russian Federation citizen, Russian-speaking American. I'm as American as American pie.
Kagan is a card-carrying Democrat. He doesn't like President Trump or President Putin.
He says the Russians are simply being scapegoated. The Russians say, hey, you guys should sort this out so we can start to work on a constructive Russian-American relationship.
Espionage aside, I think there are 2 other issues. One is the use of chemical weapons, and let's not forget that in addition to the Skripal family being affected in that attack, there was also a homeless person who was killed when they came in contact with nerve agent Novichok.
The old adage that good fences make good neighbors might not apply for Lvov Weinberg.
This is a checkpoint.
Not everybody has a Hezbollah checkpoint outside their back door.
I get one. You can see the action over there.
That action over there is a quarter mile from Weinberg's yard here in Metula, Israel's northernmost town, and that checkpoint is manned by Hezbollah. We can see them, and they surely see us.
While Hezbollah can tunnel from Lebanon here into northern Israel, it sure isn't easy with soil this rocky. Just a few hours to the south, it's a different story. The Machane Yehuda market is a stronghold of support for the Likud party and Benjamin Netanyahu himself. But the allegations of corruption that have dogged this prime minister for years may be chipping away at that support, just like the tactics his critics say he uses to stay in power.
According to some statistics, in 2016,
around 3/4 of Venezuelans lost an average of 19 pounds because there's not enough food. What are you going to do to solve that problem?
At the end of the day, this president, strategically speaking, is really motivated by a distaste for the European Union. Even here in the UK, many people will see his criticism of the Prime Minister's desire to have a soft break with the UK, keep many of the elements intact. Many people will see that as, well, that's really because he just wants to make the EU weaker.
Ryan Chilcote covering it all for us from London. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Judy.